So this is going to be, of course, a very different beast than playing Wing. Blank uses that. We both have two Nidalee players here. The difference is that Peanut likes to kill you with Nidalee, and Blank is mostly about counter jungling.
He likes to throw spears and things from a long way away. And farm, right. I mean, if we just look at the wards per minute, Blank is at 0.97 and Peanut's at 0.58. That's a huge, huge difference as we go into picks and bans here. Alistar and Lulu, the first bans to come out.
Right. This makes a lot of sense. They're getting rid of Gorilla and Faker's most played champions this season. Gorilla has played 16 games on Alistar to this point, and it has been a major pick. It allows them to snowball very well in the early game around their skirmishing and their dives with the use of the Alistar ultimate. And that's why they're going to get rid of that. Gangplank also taken out. It's a bit curious. Faker has played some Gangplank, but it hasn't been, I think, a major factor in their wins. Lissandra.
Yeah, I was going to say the Lissandra ban, not bad, but a little bit surprising.
SKT started this season playing a lot of Lissandra for Faker, and now they're sort of shying away from it. They really like to play around Bang these days, as you can note, and the Nidalee will be the first pick.
Corki will be the last ban after that, or right before that Nidalee first pick, rather. And Smeb gets his Poppy.
He does get the Poppy. They're going to take away the Nautilus too, but this might just open up the, of course, Trundle pick if Duke or Wolf want to play that champion.
Yeah, and you'd imagine they would take that Trundle. And if they take it right now, you know, they don't have to reveal quite as much, I suppose. But do you take it? Do you need to take the Trundle? I suppose you don't.
No,
I'm going to grab it anyway.
I think it's really smart against both Nautilus and Poppy, who are going to get very tanky.
I mean, do you need to take it right now in the draft is what I'm saying.
Well, you don't really show what you're doing because it's still a flex pick.
True. Blank already has that Nidalee, so that Elise is going to get changed over, you'd think.
Yeah, Faker switching summoner spells over to Exhaust and Flash before he knows what's coming out of the ROX Tigers. Interesting. Might just be snagging.
Wow.
Go back to the Azir. All right.
That is an early Azir, though. That is an early blind pick, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And but Kuro is not known for playing a lot of picks that really punish Azir. He's not a big assassin player. He's not going to take something like Zed and try and style on Faker.
Now, when Prey last played Jhin, he didn't look fantastic per se, but you certainly can't rule out this guy's ability to play that champion. The Sivir may be the pick here, although they do know that Bang has a chance to grab that Vayne if he wants to try to counter it. LeBlanc for Kuro.
Yeah, they've already created a composition that is capable of creating big zones for the Vayne too with the Trundle and the Azir, and we are going to see that. It would make sense. SKTelecom does like to play Protect Bang compositions right now. Kuro going back to the LeBlanc, which he absolutely wrecked Samsung with in game 1 of their last series. He's an excellent LeBlanc player. And Prey back on the Sivir. So very heavy engage here for the ROX Tigers. Great pick composition they've constructed so far, and they're saving their jungle for a really long time.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it's just going to be Gragas at this point? Or do you think they have something actually kind of special
Well, Elise
planned?
would be better for the pick composition.
True.
Gragas would be fine too.
Yeah.
Could play Kindred, and they are going to play Kindred, so they're not worried about the disruption that will be caused by Azir and the Trundle Pillar, the fact that they can move that Kindred off of her own ultimate.
Move everybody off the Kindred ultimate.
That's right.
And do you think this really is going to be able to get in on the Vayne? Do you think they're actually going to be able to track Bang down? And
well, they have Sivir ult and they have a lot of flank potential. They also have the depth charge where you can just point and click on the Vayne and there's nothing that's going to be able to stop that. So yes, I do think they have the tools to get onto the Vayne here. SKTelecom, they're going to be playing more of a team fighting style. ROX Tigers can use that Sivir to rapidly move around the map and create picks. It's a lot about that single target damage from LeBlanc and from Kindred here.
Yeah.
Start to scale this game. Smeb is undefeated this season on Poppy, 8-0 so far. He's been wonderful on that champion.
Yeah, Blank certainly on a comfort pick though on the other side, and Faker, if he keeps things up like we saw on Wednesday, certainly can make that Azir work.
And Prey, one of the more prolific Sivir players since the buffs. He's already had 3 Sivir games under his belt. And it makes sense for the Tigers, a team that likes to dive, that likes to skirmish. If you can arrive faster than your opponents, you can create advantages by simply killing somebody first and fighting the ensuing 5v4.
Yeah,
but
much.
SKT, it has a very scary composition in the late game. Duke, there's not an answer to Duke split pushing. If Kuro doesn't get going and can't one-shot the members of SKTelecom, that LeBlanc is not going to be too useful. So, as we suspected, SKT looking to survive.
Now the World's 2015 rivalry continues. SKT versus ROX Tigers. Let's get into game one.
Everybody wants to rule the world. There's a room where the light won't find you. Holding hands.
And welcome to a beautiful Friday evening here in Seoul, South Korea. SKTelecom T1 taking on the ROX Tigers in our first best of 3 of the evening. As we zoom around very disorientingly on someone who's trying to the Blair Witch riff for a second there. Man. And Faker on this Azir. You know, we talked about it a lot already, but he wasn't the greatest Azir player. You know, arguably EasyHoon did it better when you talked about the former SKTelecom mid lane duo, but that game on Wednesday was so impressive that you'd hope to see more of the same today.
Who wore Azir better?
I don't know. I think
Faker.
I've seen some fans that have worn Azir pretty awesomely.
You know what's interesting though? We could talk about Faker's Azir, and he may not be that good on that champion, but he is 8-2 on it all time. So it's not like the results have been bad. He just never looked quite as comfortable with Azir's limits.
It's a low win rate for Faker. It's pretty rough to be only 8-2. Clearly he's slumping. Kuro on that LeBlanc. And again, another champion that he's shown a very, very good performance on lately.
Okay, so Wolf and Bang here is going to take some of these small sentinels at the blue camp, get a little bit of experience. Late swap, of course, coming through. They dodge the Vayne matchup up in the top lane, the ROX Tigers.
Oh, Braum got him too. He got the
nice.
small wolves. Yeah.
What a jerk.
What a jerk or hero, depending on who you're a fan of. What a hero jerk.
That's how I like to think of myself too, Dylan.
There you go. Kind of a anti-hero. Sort of a scoundrel.
No,
Doria.
no, more. Oh, that's great. more of a Byronic hero. You know, that's
Byronic?
yes, as in the mold of Lord Byron.
Oh, I see. Okay.
George Gordon the Sixth Lord.
I thought it
Byron.
was robots of questionable persuasion. That's what I took the interpretation to mean. But I don't know. Your vocabulary surprises me sometimes. You seem a bit lexiphanic from time
Yes,
to time.
I am quite sesquipedalian. I messed it up.
Quite sesquipedalian. Nice try. Well, we're going to see the lane swap. Oh, baby.
Yeah, really early match here up by Smeb. So they are going to have a tempo advantage right now as the wave will hit the tower first. But Duke right there, joining with the third minion wave and the cannon.
Oh, yeah.
Peanut now rolling down into the enemy blue side jungle to take that. So standard stuff so far. Faker on an early recall here for another Doran's ring.
Well, you know, he's really attached to those sand soldiers, and you know what they say. If you like it, you better put a ring on it. So he's got an extra ring now. He doesn't need to give away all of them.
I don't know if Azir would put a ring on one of his sand soldiers.
It just doesn't seem like it's a relationship that would last, being as they turn back into sand after a few seconds. Anyway.
Also, pretty abusive considering he just like throws them into turrets and they instantly die.
And yet they come back for more. It's worse than Twilight. Faker has to burn that flash to get away. Wow, Kuro actually flashed for that too, tried to keep the chains connected. It didn't work though.
Yeah, if they had been able to keep that chain connected, Gorilla could have followed up there with a nice hook.
Yeah.
And perhaps they would have been able to get some more damage or probably just another summoner spell out realistically. But both flashes now down in the mid lane, but that's obviously a bit of a bigger problem for Faker, who has a slower dash mechanic.
Yep.
Should he get into trouble.
Yeah, not quite as easy for him to blink his way out of danger like Kuro's able to on that LeBlanc.
Okay. Well, everything just about even here. Of course, no top laner going to be getting too much of a CS advantage, considering that the towers went down at approximately the same time, and with the waves in basically the same place on the map. Probably not too much interesting going to happen right here. Smeb is actually sticking around the top side and not joining up with the rest of his teammates.
Wow.
He's going for the Krugs instead.
Yeah, and Wolf is going to find him. Can he take it? Oh, he got the big Krug. He's going to get both of them. Nope, he doesn't.
Wolf jerk.
Wolf jerk. He's a hero jerk. He killed the ancient Krug with a fist to the face.
So Peanut actually is going to be matching up here instead of the top laner. Bit interesting. Smeb going to take a little bit of extra time to recall before he heads down.
He picks up his boots as well.
Yeah, Blank actually going to come too. So 4 men on the top side for SKTelecom. Poppy all the way across the map.
You'd think they'd both be able to trade turrets, though, still fairly evenly.
They're going to get hit by a chain, but
Yep.
responds with some nice Sand Soldier damage.
A little bit of a CS lead for him. It's a tiny one.
Are they going to give Poppy this gold? Looks like they are. So Poppy finally makes it all the way down. And they're not actually going to go for a dragon. Instead, there may be some shenanigans with ganking, but Faker is playing very, very cautiously.
Yeah, he probably should. Yeah, Faker, wow, speaking of playing cautiously, goes in on a Kuro. Gorilla shows up in mid lane, has to use that anchor to get away. Makes it. Faker deciding that the casters must be wrong immediately after making a statement about his playstyle. I understand that.
Is that what you would do if you were getting cast?
Oh yeah, totally. Unless they talked about me being bloodthirsty, then I would just get a couple kills. I would stop being bloodthirsty. Never stop that.
Trundle doing well, left alone in the top side for longer as Prey and Gorilla get a little bit of a delay. Gorilla chunked out in that mid lane. So just a little bit of a CS lead now over to Duke. But this has been a really quite surprisingly symmetrical lane swap. Usually we see some sort of differentiation or a team trying to make a move, but not so. Very, very standard.
Yeah, and to a certain extent, I feel like that means that SKT is kind of getting to play their style of game, you know?
Yeah, and but the thing is, now they have to worry about overextension, and that's where the ROX Tigers are really going to be looking to punish here.
Sure.
And use their skirmishing capabilities and their strong early game to their advantage.
Faker trying to slow down that wave as much as he can just to get it to push towards him so he can play even safer. Safe Faker. So are 2 words you don't put together too often in a sentence, other than if you're saying Faker is usually not a safe player.
Faker is less safe than his opponent.
Yeah.
All right. So looks like we are going to be going for tier 2s now.
All right.
Duke joining up. Blank is
Knock them all down.
Ward clearing missions. Poppy has an empty jungle to prance through. Meanwhile, again, Peanut is the one joining up here with the rest of his team. He is a little bit faster on these rotations than Blank. Blank more concerned with that counter jungling, and he will get a couple camps ahead.
Yeah.
As a result, and SKT keeps on going. They're going to win this turret trade. How far are they going to go? Are we actually going to see a hip turret trade here? That would be crazy.
So this is just going to end up being basically a base race where they both symmetrically take things down.
They have to go back because Nidalee isn't there. Nidalee didn't make it there fast enough. Smeb just made a beeline across the map.
Whoops.
Uh-oh.
That's going to be an inhibitor turret going down in favor of ROX Tigers. They're actually going to take it at 820.
Oh, so
wow.
they traded an inhib turret for the blue buff. That is not a good trade for SKTelecom.
I'd agree. SKT, are they going to try to collapse on this? Kuro there to zone out Faker, so they can't.
They can. They're all together. And you know what? The blue buff will go over to Kuro anyway on the opposite side of the map. So SKTelecom, it looks like Peanut just being there with his team the entire time, providing that Kindred damage. Very beneficial.
Yeah, apparently. It's a big deal. SKTelecom responds, though, by going for their first dragon, and there's not really anything that the Tigers can do to stop it. They'll take the Rift Herald. We'll see where they send the buff.
All right, so SKTelecom, the question is it bad that they lost the inhibitor turret? Absolutely. But is it the end of the world? No. Because they now have an even longer lane, and there is really nothing to stop this minion wave from freezing anymore besides the Nexus turrets itself. So Duke is going to get an epic amount of farm out of this situation.
Yeah, that's what confuses me. Like, how is Smeb supposed to get farm now?
Sometimes this can be bad. They made a choice. Now, can they make plays around perhaps the Trundle being in the base? Yes. Can they use Poppy to start making plays around the map and trying to pick up kills while Duke is very concerned with farming? Because if there's a big wave right there and Duke has to TP out, well, the inhibitor might just die.
True.
And it's not going to stop pushing into the base of SKT. So if the ROX Tigers do nothing and they don't try and make plays right here, they are going to find themselves in a very large hole.
Well, I mean, Duke is already way ahead of Smeb on CS. That's probably going to continue.
And Prey actually has jumped out to a big CS lead here.
Yeah.
There are some discrepancies that resulted out of the lane swap, and they continue just to feed all of that farm over to Prey. Duke now more aggressively pushing out. But nice lead here for Duke. Levels are even, though, it must be said, because Prey has been clearing out a lot of the waves with the Boomerang Blade and the Ricochet. And Smeb has been there.
Right. ROX Tigers
Here we
pushing
go.
down towards this tier 2 in bottom. And are we going to maybe see some action here? They may just want to go for the turret.
They just want to kill turrets.
Yep, Poppy ult use. Go knock away, they're going to go in. That's first blood right away onto Wolf. He should not have been there. Meanwhile, Duke comes in with the teleport. They're going to turn it around. Peanut getting very low, pops that Kindred ultimate. Everybody stacks onto it. Blank doing some damage before having to back away. And now SKT, everybody else so low.
Great.
But still, no kills for SKTelecom. Wow.
Great Kindred ultimate there for Peanut. The
Yeah.
timing was impeccable. They get the turret, they get the first blood, and they get out safely, which now nets them a 2,000 gold lead at 11 minutes into this. Taking a look at this, they collapse onto Wolf. Remember, Vayne isn't there anymore, so they're free just to auto-attack this turret afterwards. Duke did not anticipate that, and they try and fight in this gigantic caster minion wave. That wave is dealing so much damage to Faker right there with the help of that Rift Herald buff. And then pretty easy disengage afterwards. Prey lends interference, that spell shield. And a big win there for the ROX Tigers. And most importantly, the gold from that first blood went on to Smeb. So that's going to neutralize a lot of the farm disadvantage that he is at. He now has a chance to farm deep in his own territory also. So ROX Tigers making the plays to get themselves out of that hole and not allowing SKT to take advantage of that really deep freeze that they had.
Yeah, what's first blood gold in terms of minions? About
400, so...
Yeah, about 30 or so. I think it's makes about even, right? My math is great, by the way. I am an excellent mathematician.
It's about 25.
Oh, okay. Hey, well, that's not so far off. You made it sound like I was way off. I was like 30. You're like, no. I like post that GIF right away. No, 25 and 30 is not that far apart, Monty. I did good there. That was a good. That was a good DOA number estimation. You have to give me that one.
You were 20% above.
Hey, it wouldn't have worked on The Price is Right, but it works for esports broadcasting. I'm satisfied with it. SKT, though, finding themselves behind. But hey, you know, what else is new before 15 minutes?
Very true.
Yeah. Do you really need to be that worried if you're SKT?
I think that this is an insurmountable lead that we see from ROX right now, and SKT has the advantage of a quick early dragon. If they can control that, then perhaps they can do something else. But Wolf is all by himself.
Yeah, this is not a great idea by Wolf. Gets caught immediately up by Kuro. Here comes Peanut for more damage. Bramalt has to be used. Wolf flashes away. Faker over the wall. Does barely enough damage to Kuro to save his support's life. But
Nice spear, too.
it was good from Faker, good from Blank, but
Wow.
Wolf has been making questionable decisions this game,
They still got what they came for in the end.
I guess.
But yes, a little bit of a dangerous situation right there, resulting from that play. And man, Bang has really been starved on this Vayne. You can see that gold difference already, 1,500 between Prey and Bang. Prey has 40 more CS at the given time. Faker taking his own advantages, though. He's been farming up and hasn't been on the roam so much as the LeBlanc has.
Yeah. His lead is pretty good over Kuro. Kuro with only that one assist, so doesn't have a lot of kill gold, propping that up. SKTelecom just pushing up the bottom lane a little bit.
They don't have Ignite. He really wants to get some damage down onto Bang right here.
Might just settle for some farm, though.
How about some farm instead?
Yep, farm sounds good. Yeah, Faker gets his blue buff. Teleport coming in. They're going to try to collapse on Wolf and Bang. Here comes Smeb going in with that W. Bang slowed up, gets ulted. He's in big trouble now. Bang pushes Kuro against the wall though. Smeb still trying to chase, gets exhausted. Peanut comes in with that Kindred, grabs a kill, and Wolf slowed up. He's gonna go down to 2 easy kills for the ROX Tigers. Bang and Wolf just getting caught a little bit too far up.
And these are exactly the kind of plays that the ROX Tigers need to make with this composition. This is how they've been playing all season, heavily focused around the skirmish, just uninhibited when it comes to trying to make picks and make aggressive plays. And they don't even lose that much. They lose a few minions on the top side. They decided that Smeb is just going to make his money back via killing people instead of farming at this stage, and it's actually working. It's not that level differential. And Smeb is just up here able to catch that wave right away. They don't go for a dragon afterwards. Instead, it's just back to farming as normal. And now the burden is on Duke to try and make a play somewhere else on the map.
It is interesting to see them just kind of completely bypass dragon. As if it's not that important to them.
Well, I guess it's not this game.
Guess
Killing
so.
SKT is much more important to them.
Sounds like the ROX Tigers way though.
Now against Spenu, sometimes they made these aggressive plays and they would lose objectives for him. This time around, they're not really giving SKTelecom the option of taking objectives and punishment. They couldn't get that tier 2. Smeb in trouble though.
He's got flash.
Doesn't have
But
ult.
Duke flashes in. Wolf there to try to get a little bit of revenge. Bromalt misses completely. Smeb still very low. Nice flash over the wall to escape, and that's a kill for Gorilla. Over on the ROX Tigers, Prey picks one up too. Smeb, that was a great flash over the wall. Very tricky poppy play there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just game sense right there to come out of that engagement, trusting in his teammates to come and save him. And you'll know, Peanut didn't even use Kindred ult right there.
True.
Could have had that popped, but instead, Smeb actually just says, okay, I'll flash the wall. Don't give them a chance to survive right here. It's worth trading my flash for a couple more kills.
SKT responding with their second dragon.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But the Rift Herald is really powerful in this game where there's an open inhibitor right now. If you could push with a giant wave empowered by the Herald, then you can do a lot of work and you could really dissuade SKT from fighting you at this point of the game because that minion wave will just do so much damage.
I was wondering if that's what they were going to do up in top lane, but Prey and Gorilla didn't get the Rift Herald buff.
Yeah, I think Peanut must have gotten it, and he recalled. But they've got a little bit of time to play with it. We'll see if they use it for anything meaningful or whether they're simply going to continue to farm.
So 5 kills, evenly distributed between the ROX Tigers players. Everybody's got a kill. Isn't that nice?
It is. They're a very sharing team. And one thing the ROX Tigers have said in interviews is, especially Kuro in one of his interviews, said that one of the reasons why they're so good is that they just listen to each other's calls and they trust each other so much and their game knowledge that when somebody calls Kuro to a different lane, he just goes immediately. They're just wasting no time whatsoever. And we see that here again. The ROX Tigers just faster on these rotations. SKTelecom a bit delayed. Duke not with the TP in time.
Well, it's good to see. It's cool to see a player, a group of players that are really good, but yet don't seem to really have that damaging ego where you're going to be like, I'm pretty good at this game. I don't know if my teammate's right here. They just go and they really win and lose as a team that way.
Yeah, and they're just so decisive in the way they play League of Legends, and they all show up out of nowhere.
It's great. And they're going to take that mid lane turret too, with very little opposition from SKTelecom. And now the gold lead up to about 5,000. Make that about, about 5,000. It's getting very scary if you're SKTelecom. They still have that powerful late game, but ROX Tigers is just getting a little bit too much of a lead at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty overwhelming right now. I think that's why they didn't really care. Oh my, and see Duke doesn't have any MR yet. He has a Titanic Hydra. That means Kuro will be effective in the split push against him. Tapping him for a little bit of damage right there. Peanut still working his way up to that Sated Devourer. He should be there soon. Blank has that CS advantage. He's been just sweeping through the jungle as fast as he can, but Peanut's had a lot more of an effect on this game, obviously, considering that SKT has yet to even get a kill.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't often see SKTelecom held to 0 kills by about 20 minutes. That is extremely rare, even with a team that has the lowest first blood percentage in the league. You'd think they'd have something by now.
Yeah, SKT also a team, though, that is known for their comebacks rather than their early game.
Yeah, very true. And this would be about the time that they come back. They're usually not quite this far behind, though. Yep.
Oh, Duke
just can't do anything against Kuro here.
Wow, they're going to collapse on him right now. You see
might-
Gorilla. Oh, no.
Okay.
Decided against it.
I was going to say he might be in trouble, but Gorilla was really the only one nearby, so it looks like they decided they'd rather save that mid turret, which would have been pressured a bit if people had gone down to kill Duke.
ROX now just here for the wave clear in the mid lane. SKTelecom really doesn't have anything they can do besides group up. Nobody can handle this LeBlanc in the bottom lane unless they move Azir down there. And of course, Vayne isn't going to really do much in the mid lane by herself. Lack of wave clear starting to really hurt SKT. They only have Azir.
Yeah. Faker's good. He can't be everywhere. Not yet, anyway. Not until the technology is developed.
Clone Faker.
We'll just upload him into the internet, and he'll just be able to play all games at all times.
That would be terrifying. Games would not be fun anymore, Doa.
I know. Well, Faker would basically be Skynet at that point. See, this is how I could realistically see Skynet happening, is if you can upload Faker's brain onto the internet, then humanity has to watch out. He may seem like a friendly little polite kid now, but once he's in control of the world's technology, I'd be fearing for my life.
He'd be really good at microing it.
Yeah, that's very true. You see these like Apache helicopters just like, oh, that was close.
Dropping the Ignite there onto Faker, but Wolf with
Yeah.
the Unbreakable to help out.
Oh,
Kuro just going nuts now.
Kuro has been activated.
He did this against Samsung too.
Yeah.
LeBlanc is in a very weird state, I feel, as a champion right now, because if you get an early advantage, she can absolutely dominate games, but if you go even or start falling behind, she is absolutely useless.
She's basically like Magic Master Yi at this point.
Except actually feasible to use.
It's true. We just don't have anyone brave enough to play Master Yi right now. Smeb goes on to Duke. They're going to use the ult on him. Peanut coming in. Can they actually kill off Duke? He is taking a lot of damage here. Tries to get away. Burns his flash. Faker comes in with the Emperor's Divide. ROX Tigers have dived a bit too deep. There goes the Lamb's Respite trying to keep Peanut and Smeb alive. And it looks like it will work. Gorilla gets out. Another nice ult from Peanut. Turns what should have been 2 kills from SKTelecom into no kills. Duke gonna teleport to the mid lane. That's an odd decision. Thought maybe he could catch people, I guess.
They wasted teleport. Now they
Wow.
gave the ROX Tigers a TP advantage for that. Duke gonna push out, so I guess they want to trade TP for this mid-tier 1 turret.
Well, they got to get something now, don't they?
Yeah, looks like they are going to be able to get this. They have the damage there to go ahead and take it out. So they do punish the ROX Tigers for that little bit of over-aggression.
Going down for their 3rd dragon. And if there's any way SKT is going to win this, well, it's either going to be catching them here, which is not going to happen, or it's going to be dragons. Teleport coming in from Smeb, coming from the side. Gorilla jumps right onto Faker. Faker on top. Everyone's on top of Faker right now. He's trying desperately to get out, but he can't do it. Easy kill for Prey. And without Faker there, SKT get one onto Blank. But aside from that, don't know how much more they can make out of this. Wolf gets a Q onto Peanut. Duke all over Smeb right now. But man, they just took down Faker so fast. Anchor misses. Wolf flashed.
The Trundle Pillar prevented that chain from LeBlanc from landing onto Wolf, which almost certainly would have been another kill. ROX Tigers there coming in. They didn't actually have a lot of ultimates to start that fight with. A lot of them had already been used, so I think a little bit hasty there on the teleport play. But they trade 1 for 1 and they get the dragon, so I guess advantage still over to the ROX Tigers in the end.
Yeah. I'd say that's definitely a win. Look at this. Faker just has no chance, man.
Yeah, they just don't have any ults to deal with Faker and Vayne, unfortunately for them. Had ROX had all their ultimates up, that may have been a very different style of team fight. Obviously a lot down for SKTelecom as well. Diving all the way back there onto Faker without the depth charge, a little bit difficult, and they don't have the Lamb's Respite to reset the fight.
No, Bang just doesn't seem to have the range on this Vayne too, of course, to sit back there and do more damage.
No, Nautilus has always been good against Vayne because you can she gets close enough to even a support Nautilus that depth charge is going to not too difficult to land.
Yeah, Gorilla. Saving it in the last fight, though. Not using that one.
Prey is getting really scary, too.
Yes, he is.
Interesting build he's got going on there. Not a whole lot of crits so far, especially if he's going to be building something like a Bloodthirster next, or perhaps a Mercurial Scimitar. Well, there isn't the largest amount of CC on the side of SKTelecom. It would only really be useful for a Braum passive stun. I don't know what he's doing. Obviously, one of the big changes to Sivir, why you would pick her now is because her ricochets can crit in these team fights. So low crit builds are a little weird.
Yep. Whoa, okay. Prey gets totally caught. Nice ult by Faker. We didn't catch the beginning of that. But that was just a sick Emperor's Divide from him to set up that kill onto Prey. And now SKT has a bit more leverage. Smeb coming from the side, though, looking for that flank. SKT with a very small minion wave, so they're not going to be able to pressure that mid turret too much.
SKT doing a great job of coming back. The last two fights have been good for them when it comes to trading. They managed to get some more gold in the bank with that mid turret. And now they pick up a kill that will allow them to continue to push forward right here.
They're going to jump onto Kuro. Faker getting aggressive. They trade health. Faker healing up a little bit quicker, though. Do that in Italy. Smeb not getting to ult. Duke comes in with the pillar. So that Poppy ult is down for the moment.
A nice identification of what ROX is trying to do. They weren't going to get knocked away right there, but it does buy the ROX Tigers time to defend their turret and for Prey to come back up. So just a little bit, they're inching closer. The gold lead still at about 4,000, but SKTelecom has a very powerful team fighting composition in the late game. Fortunately for ROX, their progression on the 5th Dragon buff has been slowed.
I mean, if any team, though, is going to have a chance to make a wild comeback like this, SKTelecom is certainly one of the best ones to do it.
Absolutely.
Them and CJ for some reason.
Now, CJ just loves to fall behind in the early game and then play these scaling compositions.
Oh, yeah. Well, Smeb trying to push down the bot lane for the moment. And SKT, if nothing else, have bought themselves a little bit of breathing room. And again, with this composition's power in the late game, that's not a bad thing. Got to keep an eye on the Baron, though. ROX Tigers trying to bait them in there. Kuro poking Wolf over the wall.
It's the chains. Pina going for the Blade of the Ruin King Kindred build. Is going to be on the squishier end of things as a result, and they have some pretty good front line with the Poppy and the Nautilus, but they're going to be particularly reliant on the Kindred ultimate in order to make the most out of this champion. But they've been doing pretty well with that Lamb's Respite to this point in time. Peanut's use and hold of that particular ability has been strong.
Amusingly, you only see like 3 wards in the top jungle from ROX Tigers as far as like getting wards into SKTelecom side of the map.
SKT
don't like to ward.
They just need to stall.
Yep.
Continue to have eyes on the Baron so it can't be taken right here. Group up, see if they can occasionally get a turret. They have to go defend that naked inhibitor, though. That's going to be the constant thorn in their side. And as long as ROX controls the side minion waves well, SKTelecom should never really be able to get deep wards into the jungle because they will have to constantly recall to deal with the inhibitor.
Oh, Peanut decides that he wants the Raptors.
Of course he does.
Why wouldn't he?
You love Raptors too, Della.
Yeah, but I like the Jurassic Park Raptors.
Not bird raptors.
Cool.
You like Velociraptors?
Yeah, those are my favorite Raptors, pretty much. Wouldn't want to be like in a forest with one, but if they made Jurassic Park, I'd go there. I'd go check it out.
After the 3 movies that they've made, you really would go there? The number of disasters
Fourth time's the charm.
That
Yeah.
that park has had is...
Well,
who would insure that park anymore?
at this point, we know what not to do, though, right? Don't make
Do we?
don't make genetically engineered dinosaurs. Don't hire shady people from shady companies. Just make a zoo and have decent human beings run it.
But all the dinosaurs are genetically engineered dinosaurs.
Well, you know what I mean, though. Because they made like a whole new dinosaur for Jurassic World.
Oh, did they?
Not just putting a little bit of frog DNA in there, you know?
That was part of the problem, though.
Well, I think the ultimate problem with Jurassic Park is that the failure of man always results in the uncontrollability of dinosaurs. It sounds very profound when I say it.
Even though what you said means absolutely nothing.
I don't know. I think it works. Wolf caught by the chains.
The failure of man results in the uncontrollability of dinosaurs.
Yeah. Put that on a t-shirt. It's true. Einstein, 2016. SKTelecom going in for what they hope is going to be a good fight. Peanut separated from the rest of the team. SKT, this is getting a little bit risky. Wow, Gorilla goes in. Smeb from the side, the counter. Nice knockup from Poppy. Gorilla jumps back out. Faker trying to do some damage. SKT disengages well. They're going to turn this one around onto the ROX Tigers. They force people off of the Kindred ultimate, but Prey turns it right around with the double kill. And now Smeb re-engaging along with Kuro. And this fight is suddenly all ROX Tigers. Bang can't get away. That is a triple kill for Prey. Duke's going to fall. That's a quadra kill. And is it going to be the ace? Is it the penta? No, it's not. But it was a great fight for the ROX Tigers. Another awesome turnaround. That's going to be their second dragon, tying it up. And SKT is all out of edges.
This team fighting in this game is so beautiful to watch. The way
Really
that we
is.
see the flank coming around here. Now they go into Faker because he's already been poked down. So they get a three-man knock up there coming in from the ROX Tigers due to the dredge line then following up with the Poppy ultimate. It's really hard to tell you everything is going on in this team fight right now. Prey, though, comes up on the side. The Kindred ult's already been used, but he gets that double kill, and that's the threat of this late-game Sivir after the changes. Wolf then gets targeted down. Bang did a really good job of trying to play in that fight. He got a lot of damage down, but unfortunately the Kindred ult stopped him up, and then too many people from the ROX Tigers left standing.
Yeah. Smeb ended up spoiling the pentakill for Prey. But it's okay. He deserved one. He had a really good flank and a really good re-engage. It looked so promising for SKTelecom for just a second there, too.
That's what happens when Kindred is on the enemy team. You're like, yes, we're winning the team fight. And you're like, oh,
we're
crap.
not. Yeah. Oh, well.
We can't actually kill anybody. And they're
So-
still DPSing us down, and we can't stand on top of the heal zone.
So maybe ban Kindred or play Gragas.
Yeah, they prioritize this in Italy, and they know Peanut is an excellent Kindred player.
Yeah, very true. Well, now the question is just how cleanly can the ROX Tigers clean up this game one? How methodically can they end it?
Well, they have Baron now. We
Yeah.
saw in the little picture-in-picture while the
Yeah, they also have an
Replay was going
8,000
on.
gold lead. And here's where that vulnerable inhibitor in top lane is really going to start to be a problem, I think, for SKT. Bang's got the static shiv, but obviously not a lot of wave clear in general on this Vayne. A few more members of SKT have to come over and help him with this wave.
And this split push is so hard for them to deal with.
Yeah.
LeBlanc and Poppy don't really have a whole lot of answers. Finally, though, at least Duke has a semblance of magic resist, having completed the Spirit Visage, but they see three people on top side, and that's just going to mean this inhibitor goes down.
Yeah, maybe more. The inhibitor turret going down very, very quickly. They're going to jump onto Wolf immediately. Braum ult slowing down ROX Tigers for a second. They're going to back off for the moment. SKT thinking about engaging. Duke wants to do it. He's going to get turned around, though. SKTelecom not really in a position to fight this. They're going to have to just be satisfied with one less inhibitor turret.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake. Poppy going into the mid lane, trying to push down the last remaining tier 2, but they could have applied pressure on the top side, just stretched SKTelecom out between top and bottom inhibitors instead of trying to engage a little bit
Faker
greedily.
finds Smeb. Nice ult. Smeb trying to get away from it all, but that is another easy kill for SKT. Stayed up there with way too little health, and easy pick for Faker.
They didn't have the pressure on the bottom side to even take the inhibitor, so
Yep.
ROX Tigers going to retreat with their tail between their legs, try and set up for another push. SKT, though, staying in this game improbably and not losing an inhibitor on that push.
I mean, it's like we said before. If any team is going to win this, SKTelecom is going to be that team.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
They want to kill the Bang.
Yeah, or sneak an inhibitor, or both. They're going to see Bang in just a second. Maybe.
Bang.
SKT's very
How much do you
suspicious
want
right
this?
now.
Oh, Blank is that?
Oh, Blank. Uh-oh. Well, Blank gets caught.
Two people actually managed to complete that recall, however. They were definitely not expecting Blank to walk around that corner.
I guess so. Oh, they won't complain about the kill, I guess.
The blank gank is successful.
Yep. Gank blank. It's Quentin Tarantino's next two-part movie.
Supposed to kill Dill. Gank blank.
2017.
I'd watch
Uma Thurman is going to gank blank.
I'd like to watch a Quentin Tarantino League of Legends inspired movie.
It could happen. Gotta imagine dragons in there. Why not Quentin Tarantino? You know.
Riot certainly has the money to make a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Why not? I say go for it. You know. Crow spotted by Wolf. And yeah, ROX Tigers are pretty intimidating right now. There goes the Disc of the Sun.
It was fun while it lasted.
Yep. So what do you do? If you're SKTelecom, you've barely held off the aggression. You've barely kept the inhibitors alive.
Okay, here's what you do. You try and fight at the next Baron.
Well, here you go. You try and fight right now. Empress Divide use. Prey gets very low. Nice gank by SKT. They find him immediately. Blank chases. Smeb has to flash away. Spear gets dodged. And they need to be careful about that. Prey has gotten caught twice now in this game.
Yeah, he's been too far forward, and SKTelecom has managed to find him in these as they're split up, because remember, there's no TP for the LeBlanc, and now they're coming through. They've actually stopped some recalls. There's not a lot of wave clear right now. SKTelecom wants this inhibitor turret.
Yeah, that's right. Kuro on the side. So step one, lose Baron. Step two, catch the AD carry and kill the inhibitor. They're going to get it. They're going to get the first inhibitor of the game. After having an inhibitor vulnerable on their side since 8 minutes, SKT takes the first inhibitor.
Decisive plays in this game from both of our teams. And right there, ROX are simply trying to set up for a dragon, and they got caught out. Remember how fast SKTelecom can get on you. They have that Vayne passive to get Bang into that front line. They have a lot of movement from the Nidalee.
I mean,
and
SKT
is here too.
Oh, Bang! He was too late! Gets caught immediately. It's a bad day to be Vayne.
It's a bad day to be an AD carry, apparently.
I guess.
Wow, that was split
tragic.
Second.
That is tragic, man.
That was such a tiny error of not just having the recalls all going at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh my, this game is very exciting.
Or even going back just a little bit further, and now ROX Tigers with all the advantages, they can push this inhibitor. They've got their AD carry back. They're going in, and there's not much SKT can do to stop them. They're just going to have to give this one up.
How far do the ROX Tigers want to go? They can take it into a couple of inhibitors here. They don't have any more inhibitor turrets, remember?
Peanut a little bit low.
They do have the Kindred ultimate, but they don't have 2 other key ultimates.
Yes.
3 other key ultimates.
Smeb and Gorilla can zone so well. Well, until Smeb dies anyway. He's getting very, very low. Kindred ultimate used. SKTelecom looking for that kill. Peanut has to back away now. Kuro on the run. SKT, they lost their inhibitor, but they chased the ROX Tigers away for the moment. 25 seconds until Baron comes up. That's going to probably be the next point that's hotly contested in this game. Oh, no blue buff for Blank.
Will be a blue buff for Peanut. Does take the fadeaway smite right there. Smeb trying to get the red buff at the same time. Obviously, Dragon not too important this game with each team already having 2, but if ROX could pick it up, they at least open that up in the late game. Nobody really paying attention to it right now. SKTelecom has a chance to counter Baron right here.
Yeah, they could go for it. They're going to start it immediately. The decisiveness continuing for SKTelecom.
Poppy's TPing.
ROX Tigers coming from both sides. Peanut has the flank. Faker gets chunked out immediately, has to back off. There is Smeb. He has to turn around, though.
Yeah, all they needed to do was deny that Baron. They can now do it themselves if they need to.
Yeah, they did.
Especially with Faker already chunked out, doesn't have teleport on this Azir, and here we go.
Yeah, SKT, they really feel compelled to try to stop this one. Remember, no Kindred ultimate right now, though. Kuro takes a big chunk out of Blank, though. SKT, are they going to fight this? Baron goes down, and now SKTelecom on the run. They don't want to take the risk. I feel like you could, I mean, with the Kindred ultimate down, don't you feel like that's your best chance right there?
Maybe they're trying to hope for some sort of final desperation. The Sivir ult was also down, so maybe they could have gone for that and tried to chunk them out. It's a tough call, though.
Yeah, I suppose. It's a very close game. Despite what the gold lead looks like, it's SKT's making this a close game, and they're going to get this 3rd dragon, too.
Faker's there.
Yeah, sneaking that one away and getting out. Sneaky bird. Oh, Kuro finds him though. Emperor's Divide used. Kuro has to back off after taking a little bit of damage.
Fast fingers on the Emperor's Divide to make sure that Faker ends up living. We'll get a later recall as a result, though. Not that it's going to make a large difference.
Well, having that ult down might make a difference. It's a short cooldown, but still, if ROX can push it fast enough, we'll see what they can do. Got a big minion wave coming into mid lane already.
Now the pressure begins. So
Yep.
ROX needs to take out this final inhibitor. That should give them the momentum they need to actually close this game.
In theory, gonna have to take out the Azir turret first.
Azir is doing so much damage right now, too.
Yep. Here come the minions onto the Nexus turrets, though. Smeb is there. 2 waves of minions coming in. ROX Tigers wants to put the pressure on. Wolf blocking a lot of that LeBlanc damage.
Not sure Gorilla needs to be where he is right now. He might want to just be down with the rest of his team or his AD carry and jungler.
That's a good amount of damage coming in onto the Nexus turrets now. And that inhibitor going down. ROX Tigers able to take all 3. Emperor's Divide used. Wow, that was a big one for Faker. They got LeBlanc right away. Faker could be in trouble. He's going to get taken out. But SKT has a chance here. Nope, not anymore. Not with Bang. Gone. This one is over. And ROX Tigers, off of a double kill from Peanut, should be able to close out game 1. After playing a high-pressure game, back and forth a little bit due to the great team fighting from SKTelecom. Duke comes back with that Guardian Angel. He's actually going to kill Peanut. ROX Tigers, though, find that kill in the end. Prey very, very healthy. That means that the Nexus for SKTelecom will not be. Game 1 goes to ROX Tigers. GG.
What a great game of League of Legends. So back and forth, each team playing quite well to their win conditions. Prey gets caught out a couple of times, and that nearly gives SKTelecom a leg back into that game. They maximize that advantage about as well as you can, take the inhibitor.
Yeah,
But then that split-second recall from Bang, amazing actually what changed the momentum in this game.
I was going to say that.
Just like a seesaw back and forth on these small errors, honestly, that were so well capitalized on by both ROX and SKTelecom.
Yeah, man. That was awesome game number 1. Just what we were expecting from a series between these 2 teams.
Indeed. And still anybody's series, really, with how close that game was. Hopefully we'll see SKTelecom bounce back, because I would love to see a Game 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, again, despite SKTelecom's deficit in the kind of early-late game, they had a chance. It was just that minuscule recall timing for Bang that really opened it up for ROX Tigers to finish this one off. If that hadn't happened, we could still be in game. SKTelecom could be winning right now.
Absolutely.
Crazy
Exciting times, Doa.
Yep, when we come back, it only keeps getting better. Game 2 between SKT and ROX Tigers. Don't miss it. We'll be back after this.